David here with Figboot on pens. Today I have a pen from the German manufacturer Diplomat. A lot of times folks ask me what I feel some of my underrated companies are, and I typically answer Diplomat. It's a quality brand that has some nice looking pens. The Diplomat pen I have for you today is the Excellence A2 Skyline. What I'm going to do is go over the parts and the features of the pen, talk about what I care for and what I don't care for. I'll show some measurements, some size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. And then stay tuned because this pen has a retail value of $245, and I will be giving this pen away courtesy of Points of Distinction, who provided this pen for review and to give away to one of you. Oh, and I'll also let you know about a nice discount code that you can use for the month of September on the Points of Distinction site. The pen arrives in this box. Inside we have the actual box, and I've always liked Diplomat's boxes. It has a metal top that slides right off, and then here we have a flap, and then under the flap we have the pen. Now, under this tray, you can see there's a use and care guide as well as 2 black standard international cartridges. And then we have the pen. This is the Diplomat Excellence A2 Skyline. Now, this pen is very similar to the Excellence A Plus I reviewed back in March of this year, with the main difference being the finish. This is an updated version of the Skyline. If you'd care to see a review of the original version of this pen, I reviewed that model last May. There's 2 main differences between the A and the A2 models, one being the clip and the other being the capping mechanism, and I'll go over each of those in a bit. The pen has an all-metal casing, I'm assuming it's brass, which does give the pen a bit of heft. The cap and barrel have what they describe as a guilloche finish that is covered in a translucent lacquer. The effect ends up being one that gives the Excellence A2 a great deal of depth. When you spin it around, it really catches the light in all different angles and really brings this pen to life. It's a real sharp look. Let's start by taking a look at the finial. On the end of the cap, you'll find the traditional Diplomat Maltese cross-inspired ink flower logo, which I've always thought looked rather cool. The Maltese cross has a long history of association of symbolizing truth and sincerity and mercy in both sacred and secular use. A large number of police and fire departments use the Maltese cross in their logo. Then we have the clip, which I mentioned as before as one of the changes to this A2 model. The clip is now hinged. You can see that it actually kind of starts out wide and then is pinched in the middle and then wider at the bottom. And then there's an ink drop in negative space at the bottom of the clip. I kind of like how you can see through the ink drop to see the guilloche finish underneath. However, I do feel the spring on this clip could be a little bit stronger. It works just fine in a pocket, but it could use just a little bit more grip. If you put it sideways in a shirt like this, then it has a tendency to kind of slide around a little bit. The cap is very slightly angled from about here to here, and then it's straight for the remainder of the cap. Then we have a cap band, and on the band it says Diplomat since 1922 on one side, and on the other side it says Made in Germany. There is a minute step down to the barrel, which is straight for about an inch before tapering down, and then on the end of the barrel there is a silver-colored end cap. The cap snaps off. Now, this snapping mechanism has a very nice satisfying feel to it. This is the other thing about the A2, which had been improved from the previous model. The mechanism is a bit smoother than the previous model, and I will say it's not quite as glorious as the updated Diplomat Aero snapping mechanism. That one is just amazing, but this one is still very nice, and it's indeed improved over the previous model. Once the cap is removed, what you have here is a number 6-ish sized steel nib. This one is a medium, but it's available in extra fine, fine, and this medium. I've really always liked the ink flower stamping on Diplomat's nibs as well. And then here's a look at the plastic feed. we'll see in the writing sample, but this medium steel nib is very smooth and a pleasure to use. I very much enjoy Diplomat steel nibs, and in my opinion, Diplomats make some of the finest steel nibs on the market today. The section begins with a ridge and then an indented circle, which is actually part of the capping mechanism. The section is resin and angles up slightly. The resin provides a decent grip, and the transition from the section to the barrel is actually angled. So even if your grip rests on it, I don't think that it will bother anyone. It's really hardly noticeable even when your finger rests on it. Now, this is a cartridge converter pen that will accept standard international cartridges, and then a converter is provided as well. Since this housing and the barrel is metal, eyedropping this pen would not be recommended. Now, I will say something that's annoyed me lately on a few pens is when the converter actually hits against the inside of the barrel and makes a noise. I like that on the A2 or the Excellence A2 Skyline, you can tap on the barrel and you can't hear the converter at all. It's just one of many things that I like to see or hear on a quality built pen. The Diplomat Excellence A2 Skyline retails for $245, which I do feel is on the high end in regard to the value for this pen, but Points of Distinction does have a discount code that they provided that you could use for the entire month of September of 2018. And that code is Figboot0918. And it will give you a site-wide 20% discount. So it brings the price of this pen down to about $50 to $196, which I actually feel is a decent price for what you receive with this pen. I like the looks of the Excellence A2 Skyline. It really feels great in the hand. It has a little bit of heft to it, which I care for. And I feel it's very well built, and it feels like a quality writing instrument. So, thanks will go out again to Points of Distinction for providing this pen for review and for giveaway, as well as the discount code. In regard to that code, like I said, it's site-wide code. I know that they have a number of pens right now on sale, so with the discount code, you could potentially have quite the bargain. In regard to the giveaway for this pen, if you would care to win this one right here, all you need to do is two things. One is be a subscriber to this channel, and then two is leave a comment on YouTube. Or if you're a Patreon supporter, you can leave one there if you'd rather, but either would count as your single entry into the drawing. Today is Saturday, September 1st, 2018, and you have until the end of day on Tuesday, the 4th of September to enter. In regard to a comment topic, why don't you just let me know what the next pen on your wish list is that you're planning to pick up. I really don't have anything on my shopping list right now, but it's always interesting to hear what other folks are buying. The comment topic is just a suggestion and is not required to enter the contest. So now it's time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample. Here we go with some size comparisons for the Diplomat Excellence A2 Skyline. That here it is with the Diplomat Arrow. And then here it is with a Pilot Vanishing Point Raiden, and this is the water surface finish. And then here it is with a Pelican M805. And then in regard to some other pens, here it is with a Montegrappa. Here it is with a relatively new Visconti Vertigo. And speaking of new pens, here's one that is not quite out yet on the market yet, but we'll be receiving a review here shortly, which is the brand new Platinum Procyon. So look for a review coming out on that relatively soon, and look for it hitting the markets as well. It's a metal pen from Platinum. So here we have the Diplomat Excellence A2 Skyline. And this is a medium steel nib. And the ink that we're using today is Monteverde and this is Mercury Noir. It comes in this bottle. It's a nice, decent-sized bottle. I like the shape of this bottle just because it's easier to get just about any pen in here, and it's narrow, so you can get about any nib in here as well. And then this is what the ink looks like. It's kind of a pinkish red. It's somewhat similar to something like Noodler's Autumn and Rose, or even something like J. Herbin Rouge Opera, excuse me. Kind of in that pinkish red family. So here we go with the rest of the writing sample. As I mentioned in the review, Diplomat steel nibs are outstanding, in my opinion, and this is no exception. With a steel nib, you're not going to get tons of line variation out of here, but it is, for a medium pen, it is decently wet. And in regard to some reverse writing, it is a little bit on the scratchy side. And then in regard to some fast writing, it's very nice as well. There's no problem with this feed. So thanks again go out to Points of Distinction for providing this pen for review and for giveaway. Don't forget that throughout the month of September of 2018, use the code Figboot 0918, and that's a site-wide discount of 20%, if I could write correctly. So there it is, the Diplomat Excellence A2 Skyline, something that I feel is worthwhile and something that you might enjoy checking out. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.